Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SFR for Division 2, Round 21 here, the Japanese Grand Prix. We're almost there towards the end of the season with 3 races left to go on the calendar, and it's going to be an exciting one indeed, with the championship really spicing up, but we're missing one key element here tonight, which is Burmeister. So Burmeister missed another race, which means Adams and Mansell will get a jump on him again. And alongside me tonight is Charlie Smithy. How you doing, mate?
All right, it's not Smithy, my last name, it's just Smith. It's a nickname, it's the Scouse nickname, really. If Dorian is watching, he'd know that there's a lot of nicknames for people with the second name Smith. One of them I don't think is really appropriate to say on stream, is similar to a certain word. But yeah, Smithy, it's Smith, by the way, Jamie.
Thank you, Charlie. I have got your real name on my friend's thing as well, so I knew it was Smith, but I thought I'd call you Smithy. But thank you for embarrassing me on that one.
No worries, man.
I can rely on you as always. Right,
Yeah,
so we're here then for the Japanese Grand Prix, the 8-figure circuit around here, the land of the rising sun, of course. We saw a fantastic race in Division 3 when it was pouring it down to the whole race indeed. Interestingly, Division 3 has had 10 out of 20 wet races this season, so half the grid, well, half the races has been wet and half of them have been dry as well. We haven't really seen much rain in Division 2 or Division 1 just yet, but it could be pouring its way down soon. Most of Division 3 are getting the rain, and we're just lucky enough to escape it. Although me and Oliver yesterday did commentate over that race, and it turned out to be a good race because the Haasman of Michandia won his first race of the season yesterday after a fantastic drive, overtaking his teammate who's fighting for a championship. That fight will go on towards Qatar in Division 3, so watch out for that next Monday. I think that Pabelli has a really good chance of winning the championship in the next race. Also on him and Mitchell Dier as well, with the performance in the Haas extend their championship lead over Alpine. But moving on to Division 2, this is Dino Bino Bambino in the RB going through turn 1 there. Let's see how he takes it flat out through turn 1, lift off and break in turn 2, get close to the apex, run out wide at the exit of turn 2. Now we're going towards 3. Let's see how he takes a slight lift off there. As you can see, they're getting close to the curves. You don't really use the curves too much around here, otherwise it'll throw the car off balance and you'll find yourself in a spin. Here we are coming towards Dunlop. Plenty of people have struggled here in the past, especially Logan Sargent being one of them, as we make our way out of Dunlop. Coming towards Deck 1 now, flicking in at the 50-meter board as you want to take a lot of speed through there. Go towards the second deck there, the right-hander, and we're now coming towards the hairpin, where this corner was famous for Kamura Kobayashi back in 2012 when he pulled off some outstanding moves here to claim his first podium in the Sauber back in 2012, when Felipe Massa scored a podium too after a dismal season for Ferrari for Felipe Massa. Coming towards Spoon now, Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel made contact here in 2018 and unfortunately spun Sebastian Vettel out as we exit now Spoon all the way down towards the end of the sector. Let's see what the intermediate split is. Using overtake he has available to him, as he saved up a lot of battery there, because some people yesterday in qualifying used a lot of battery in the early stages and didn't have any left for the middle sector or the last sector, so they were derating all the way down the straight, and that's why Mr. Wiggles couldn't get the lap time he needed. That's why he lost time in the last sector. But here comes the RB of Dino Bino Bambino. The benchmark is a 29.1, Smithy.
Yeah, a good lap, solid lap on the board, and what a lap by Yarham as well, 6/10 faster. Just worth getting on the board at this point. Lord Brad with a nice lap there. And we've got a Red Bull there, Cluser, and it's just worth getting a time on the board now. It's a very easy track to invalidate, especially through the Degners and Spoon, and coming towards the final couple of corners, and it's very easy to invalidate, so it's worth getting a lap time on the board. And yeah, it's also in case you get blocked later on in the session.
Dino Bino Bambino in the RB, who's just joined for 2 races this season, has done a fantastic job finishing inside the top 5 as well. Can he keep that up in the RB? Has he got more pace to show? Zenum is in P3 for Ferrari. I think he was the one that was super close to pole last week in the Austrian Grand Prix, but got taken away by him. I think it was by, I can't remember who it was, even though I made a video about it. Here comes Sonic Hawk now towards the ladder, 28.9 for the RB, and he puts himself into 4th place. Displaced now by Alas Copa. Remember, it was a Red Bull 1-2 last week at the Austrian Grand Prix, but they just got beaten, and I'm trying to remember who it was who got pole off them. It was super close at the top of the timing sheets. I think it was Smoke who took pole away from him, but my memory is so bad. Unfortunately, it's been a week since then, and I've got plenty of leagues to commentate for too, so I can't exactly remember everything. Smoke goes up into P6 with a 29.0 as the RP driver, who didn't have a good race at the Austrian Grand Prix. He was predicted to be up there at the top of the podium, but he got caught up in that melee. He got spun around in turn one, unfortunately, after making contact, and it put him down the order too. So can Smoke recover from that race to put himself where he needs to be? We had mixture of strategies last week at the Austrian Grand Prix, with an early safety car came out due to Mills crashing the wall before turn 4, got sandwiched by 2 drivers, and it cost him and caused the safety car, and it really did throw the cat amongst the pigeons. But Smoke is going for a second consecutive lap time then. This is interesting. So I think his first lap he didn't have the battery on, but the second lap he's gunning for it again. So here we are down towards the hairpin. The problem is, by doing this, is that the tyres heat up very quickly because there's not a lot of surface area on the tyres, and that means that it generates tire temperature very easily and you start to slide around. But it looks like Smoke is handling it so far as we come towards Spoon now. Locks up on the edge. Quite a weird lock up, that one, because you don't really lock up goes through those corners, but obviously the animation is not really accurate with this game as we make our way now towards the end of middle sector. 29.0 he's set. Let's see what his middle sector is. It's going to be a 11.9 and he's 4/10 up. Let's see how his lap progresses in the final sector. Kick Chappers has invited me. Thank you very much, Kick Chappers. But unfortunately, I'm commentating tonight as he makes his way now towards the chicane. There's a driver off in the gravel there. As Smoke comes towards the line, it's going to be a 28.7 and he puts himself into P4.
Yeah, Mansell could have been affected by the driver too as he dives down through the final corner. Mansell to P13. That is bit of a shocking one there for the championship leader there as well. Dan, I've noticed quite low down, P14 at the minute. Martin on a lap as well, former GP1 driver, former director as well. Quite a nice man as well to speak to. Even if he can be in a pissy mood sometimes. Nah, I'm joking. Love you, Martin.
Yeah, I know he takes the mick out of you quite a lot, doesn't he, Smithy? But yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It was Xeno into a pole last week. I was going to say it at the very start when I introduced him to the stream. It was Xenon, but I thought it wasn't because it was very unexpected towards the latter stages. It was Xenon, Smoke, and the 2 Red Bulls. Smoke got into P2. I think he validated his lap time. So did Alas Copo. Alas Copo went for a fantastic lap time, but it validated in the final corner in Austria, and that's what caused him to be P4. It was a great result for Red Bull either way, but Klusler is also a driver to watch out for too in the other Red Bull, because he's slowly but surely catching Adams and possibly Burmeister, despite having no wins this season, only 1 podium at his home Grand Prix, I dare say, because I remember him getting the podium at the Dutch GP, but he was close to one in Miami, but sustained damage thanks to Mansell, the man who's in P14. So let's see if Mansell is on a lap time. He's not, so that's worrying there for Mansell, but hopefully for his sake, it's just a banker, exploratory lap time, and I think there's plenty more to be found from the Aston Martin driver.
I'm going to take a page out of Sky F1's book here. Could Mansell be using the rain setup? Could we be seeing rain later on in the race? He could just be using the rain setup, getting a poor lap time in, but he will benefit in the race. It is quite a high downforce track though, Suzuki, if I'm not wrong in that, due to the first sector and a little bit of the middle sector. So I'm probably just taking a Sky F1 guess there, but
we'll see if that prediction. We'll see that prediction is right. Then Carvin Racing has retired in the pit lane, so that indicates he's probably got a qualifying ban. Oliver, the man that commentated with me yesterday, is going to go for a lap time, a 12.5 in the middle sector. Not really the best I've seen so far in the middle sector. Johan and Electro down. Once again, both Hasses doing really well as Oliver makes his way down towards the chicane. It has got a name, and I did remember it, but of course I forgot it, so it's got a really easy name.
Triangle.
There we go. I want to call it Circle for some reason, but Oliver goes up into P11 there, just behind Ginger Tiger, who says best lap time on the mediums, but he's now gone towards the soft compound tyre. Ginger Tiger also made his debut at the Haas team, now transferred over to Ferrari, a reserve driver, because Emils is not racing here tonight, unfortunately for him. So 8 minutes has gone from this session, 8 minutes left to go, and so far the top G, the man that scored a podium at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and also at the Austrian Grand Prix too, is at the top with a 28.3. He came in at the Spanish Grand Grand Prix, which showed some tremendous pace on all the tyres. And let's see there, can the Top G claim his second victory this season? I think he got the Brazilian Grand Prix. No, it was in USA. How can I forget? It was at the USA Grand Prix we claimed a victory. Mansell goes up into P7 with a 28.9, crucially ahead of Adams, who hasn't set a lap time just yet. Jensen says rumours of no rain in the race.
Yeah, close to P9. Yaham with a nice lap there, 28.2. So I was just I was going down the Sky F1 route there. Just making up for a bit of rain there, as Sky F1 usually do when it gets a bit boring in the race, but hopefully we won't have a boring race. Sonic Hawk at 2 tenths up through sector 1.
I'm going to go on board with Sonic Hawk then, as where is he right now? He's currently down in P8. I was just looking at the championship because I know that Electro Dan's got some fantastic pace. He was the one that won the Brazilian Grand Prix, defending from Top G, and at the time Alex Copo. And I think somebody picked up a 3-second penalty. It was Keith. Keith picked himself up a penalty, and Atlas Copo just pipped him towards the end because Keith could have got his 4th podium of the season. And somebody else moved up the order too. Is that Ginger Tiger? He did. Up into P4 he goes. Ginger Tiger once again showing great pace. Here comes the RB of Sonic Hawk, who got his first win this season at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Both RBs picked up Grand Prix wins, and Sonic Hawk out of the Casio Triangle chicane, gets a wobble on. He comes towards the line, goes P9. He does improve, but not his positioning then. As we see Yarholm up into P1. We know, I say this every single week, him and Xenom have got some fantastic qualifying pace, but they drop backwards in the race, probably due to their setup or the way they drive the car. Combination of both, not really adjusted to the game. Heavy fuel, old tyres, but here in qualifying it's all about low weight, fresh tyres and gunning for it but on that pace, so a massive difference there. But I really hope Yorham can find his form again, because I know him, known him for quite a long time, and I know he's got the pace in him to do it, but fortunately just can't seem to piece the pieces together to try and do it.
Yeah, it's yeah, sorry, I'm a bit sick at the minute. I'm just trying to spot who's on a lap. I believe Martin's on a lap. He's just finished. He just started a lap actually through turn 1.
Right on board with the Aston Martin as he makes his way through turn 2. Good speed carried to the corners as we make our way now towards 3. Constant change of direction, constant change of steering there. Got to get it all right through here because it's very easy to mess up. One side mistake could put you offline and put you on the curves as well. It's going through Dunlop corner, one of my favourite corners on the track. Just flat out through there as we make our way towards the end of the first sector. What's it going to be? 3 tenths up in the first sector, kind of a lot of speed. He also picked up a podium last time out of the Austrian Grand Prix too. Him and Top G shared a podium despite being older tyres. So Martin's first podium since the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, where he won it, as we make our way downhill towards the hairpin we go, as we saw Sergio Perez and Kevin Magnussen make contact as well. Perez retired from that race, rejoined the track, served his penalty and retired again, so he retired twice in that Grand Prix there. As we make our way now towards Spoon we go. Perez finished second in Japan at the 2024 Japanese Grand Prix, where Red Bull were at their peak towards the beginning of the season. I think Smoke just moved up to P3 ahead of Xenom. I think Xenom's going towards the line now in the Ferrari. He's going to go for the lap time. Martin coming towards the middle sector, 2 tenths up is the Aston Martin driver. As we make our way now towards the final 2 corners we go, let's see how he tackles this. It's quite fitting really. Martin in the Aston Martin.
Yeah, Martin. Scottish, of course. Quite a heavy Scottish accent as well. I believe Cassidy. Is Cassidy racing tonight or no? Shame to see Cassidy not on the grid. He's quite a quick driver on his day. Martin as well, I believe he can get a result in the race. He's usually been more of a race pace driver than a quali pace driver. Smoke as well, he's going for a double lap again. Atlas Scopo has moved up to P3 as well, ahead of him. Smoke is down on his lap time though, 4 tenths through sector 1. I'm just looking up and down the grid to see who's on a lap, who's not. I believe Dan's on a lap, he's in the first sector, Keith's just finished one. It's going to be a lot of outlaps though, as we near the end of the session though.
Coming towards the end of the session we go then, with about 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. Majority of drivers are in the pit lane. Interestingly, the championship contender of Adams in P18 hasn't gone for a lap time just yet. He's left it really late as well. Has Adams. Has his confidence been knocked back after the Austrian Grand Prix? Smoke makes his way back in the pit lane then. So let's see if he's got another set of sock pod tyres to use and try and beat Joachim's lap time of 28.2, a fantastic lap time set by the Haasman. As we know, he's very good at qualifying. I'm just looking for somebody on a lap time. Keith, down in P14. Adams has a qualifying ban, so unfortunately got taken out at the Austrian Grand Prix. I'm not quite sure if it was his fault or not because I never saw the footage. But got qualifying ban again, has Adams. I think at the Brazilian Grand Prix he had one. He jumped the start, didn't he, the Brazilian Grand Prix, and had to serve the penalty. So it's not gone Adams' way so far in the last few races. It looked very good for him at the beginning of the season because Mansell and Adams had a very contrasted start to the season where Mansell was slowly but surely making his way up there, not scoring a lot of points. And finally in Saudi Arabia, that's when he started to show some pace, where Adams scored 2 podiums in a row and picked up more podiums along the way with a race win. Picked up 4 podiums in a row from China, Miami, Netherlands and the Italian Grand Prix. But ever since then, Adams has just been knocked backwards, unfortunately. So let's hope that the McLaren driver finds his form again, because Laser is watching, and we know it's a combined Constructors' Championship, I believe it is. And Adams, Laser will be watching with interest there to see how his 2 drivers are doing, which is Keith and Adams. Down in P14, down in P18. Keith, however, can do something about it as he makes his way towards Turn 3 and Turn 4. Lovely segment of this racetrack. Constant change of direction there, climbing up towards the hill. Keep the throttle pinned as well. Carrying him in his speed through the slow speed corners as we make our way towards the top of the hill towards Dunlop as well. We're now making our way towards the first Egner, where we see plenty of people have crashed out at the first Egner. Remember Sebastian Vettel being one of them, Heikki Kovalainen and the Toro Rosso as well. As we make our way towards the second Egner, that can be a very difficult corner because if you take too much cover on the outside, you'll light up your rear tyres and go for a spin. Coming into the corner where Carlos Sainz crashed in 2015 and in 2022 in the wet conditions, and that was a very nasty crash indeed because it caused a crane to be on the circuit. And that's caused a lot of controversy that day too in 2022. As we make our way down towards Spoon we go, as you want to just carry the speed through, nice rhythm through the steering there. Don't want to hesitate going into that one because you will lose a lot of time. As we make our way towards the end of the sector we go for Keith. Let's see how much time he's gained or lost. It's 2/10 down for Keith, unfortunately. So this is not a good lap time from the McLaren driver, and McLaren look like they're on the back foot so far because they're fighting Alpine. The gap between Alpine and McLaren are 1 point. So far, upper hand goes towards Alpine because Smoke is in P4 and Keith is back in the pit lane.
Yeah, especially with Adams down at P18 with a quali ban, he will have to go through a lot of the back markers, especially with Calvin Basket and Meal up to P8 there, 7/10th improvement on his lap. It's just spin it. That looked like that was Scopo through, I think it's, I can't remember what the corner's called before Spoon, the hairpin. But he's had a spin there on the exit. Lord Brad's got a lot of traffic into that corner. Haas on the inside. I think that's an Alpine on the outside. No, it was a Williams of Oliver on the outside. As he comes through to Spoon now.
Just watching Junta Tiger on his lap time there. Good improvement in the first sector, and let's see what he could do in the middle sector. Right behind his teammate Zenum. Zenum's teammate is usually Mills, as he picked up a podium as well. Back at the, I think it was at the, I just forgot now, just based on my memory, so unfortunately I just forgot again. But here we go, down towards the Casio Triangle Chicane. I forgot what it's called all the time. I don't know why. I've commentated plenty of times around in Japan, and for some reason that chicane there, I just forget what it's called. Here comes Tiger. P3, what a good lap time there from the Ferrari driver. These times are coming in thick and fast. Where's Top G? Top G goes towards second place, improves.
Horror of a third sector there for Brad. He lost power heading up towards the top of the hill. It looked like he ran out of ERS, so he just lost a lot of his momentum, a lot of his speed, and eventually led to a loss of time. Yaham decides to scrap his lap. Electra Dan is going to finish it.
And somebody in the Mercedes has gone for a spin, and that's his lap time. Done and dusted. Echo Dan goes towards the top. It's a 28.2, but watch out for the man in P6 because he's on a blistering lap time. He's 3.5 tenths up in the middle sector there. So let's see, can he negotiate his way around the chicane? He can very nicely. Back on the throttle again. Can Smoke take away pole as he crossed the line now? It's at 28.2.
Just about. Sonic Orcom to P6 as well there. Just noticed that Mansell P9 is the final result. 4 tenths up nearly for Xenon as well. Looks like 3.94 was the exact number. He comes to the line and he's going to go to P4 with a 28.2 as well.
How many times have we seen the times being set within a tenth of each other? That's just incredible indeed. All these guys getting close proximity of each other, barely separated by anything. First out of four separated by about 700ths of a second there. That's incredible indeed. So we're seeing some close times around here in Japan. A difficult track with lots of corners, fast-flowing corners, heavy braking zones, but these guys managed to stay in close range of each other. That's just fantastic work there from all of them. But Smoke is on pole, looking for redemption after the Austrian Grand Prix, and our championship rivals on Mansell and Adams will start 9th and 18th there. So those two will be 8 places apart from each other. But upper hand goes towards Mansell too. Yarham says, I gave Dan the toe as well. So Yarham there helping his fellow drivers out.
I was about to mention Yarham. Shout out to Yarham there, giving the toe to his teammate. Less than a tenth separate not only the top 4, the top 5. Less than 2/10 between the top 6, and less than half a second between the top 11. And that is really close times for these drivers. I don't think I've seen that in how many years I've been here. What season are we on now? Season 16, 17,
16.
Yeah, season 16. I joined season 9, about halfway through season 9. In the 7 seasons I've been here, 6.5 seasons, never seen that in my life. Never. Top 5 and a tenth, never seen that.
Top 5 separated by 3/4 of a tenth, and that's how close it's going to be then. But interestingly, I want to know how the Haas boys play it like they did yesterday, because Mitrandir, despite his teammate being a championship fight, still went for it, and him going for it ultimately won the Grand Prix, not sitting backwards, knowing he had the pace, overtook Stank at the time, Stiank in the Mercedes, after Chris got his front wing broken after making a mistake in the third sector somewhere. I didn't quite tell what happened, but we move on to the race then. I think it's a 26 lap race. I should know because I commentated yesterday. So yeah, it is a 26 lap race around here, and we'll see what happens here in Japan. Will Smoke get his redemption?
I thought it was 27. Sorry for interrupting you there. As well, just a quick one. I don't think we've got a high chance of a safety car really, due to the nature of the track being quite a wide one in terms of the walls. Bino Bambino. That is an absolute mouthful to say. He's left the session, sadly. We should be seeing start soon as well, and this will be a very interesting race. I believe it will be the two. I think it's going to be a Haas 1-2, to be honest.
Oh, you need to be here for the whole season to predict that, because I know why you say it, but at the same time, there's a problem with the Haas team. And the problem is the race pace, because Yarham has tremendous qualifying pace. We've seen it plenty of times this season where he's always up there inside the top 5. Yarham will hate me for saying this, but he forgives me at the same time because he loves me. But unfortunately, his race pace has gone downhill. I say downhill. His race pace dissipates all the time because he just really struggles to have the longevity of the Grand Prix. Struggles with his tyres, struggles with the setup of his car, the handling of his car. I'm not quite sure if he's worked it out yet because he did spend a week off or 2 from racing here. And I really hope he does find his form someday, because you've got to start from the bottom and make your way to the top. It might take a long time, a short period of time, but we'll see if Yarham can finally rectify his mistake and finally be up there and finally show the Yarham who he was in all the games as well.
There's not much difference between this track between quali and the race. I mean, only corners I can really think of, probably Dagenham 1 and Turn 1 itself, Turn 1/2, Dagenham 1/2. They're the only corners that are really different in the race from qualifying. I mean, the rest of it is really quite the same. So it'll be interesting to see if Yarham. I think if Yarham needs this win, if Yarham will win, he will take the lead instantly. Not instantly, but quite quickly, as soon as he can, to try and get that clean air, avoid sitting in the dirty air of Smoke or his teammate. I think that's what he needs.
Yeah, the two Haases need to play it beautifully, need to work it out, because let's see how aggressive they are in the first stint, and will they work with each other to try and get themselves in DRS with each other, try and drag each other along to see if they can try and overtake Smoke. Smoke is looking for redemption after the Austrian Grand Prix, but unfortunately he got spun around because he was trying to fight people with all the tyres. He got a bit messy going down there into turn 1 and made contact and finished outside the top 10. Same with Brazil as well. Things didn't go his way in Brazil, and he finished on the podium at the Mexican Grand Prix. and his last win was at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He picked up 3 wins in a row, 4 podiums in a row with Singapore, but Singapore, he went to the wrong strategy, unfortunately. I think he stayed out during the safety car and didn't have the laps left to try and get back towards Mansell, who won the Singapore Grand Prix. As Mansell then tried to extend his championship lead ahead of Burmeister and Adams, looking for a clean race. He needs as many points as he can before Burmeister in the Williams makes his return. We don't know when Burmeister is back, but he needs to be back very quickly, because after this race, there's 3 races left to go, and Mansell's going to try everything he can in this race to try and claim as many points as he could in the Grand Prix. He won the Austrian Grand Prix, but it was very difficult because he had to fight people on different tyres, and he played it smartly because he knew the top 2 had penalties and didn't want to get involved in any sort of contact with the top 2, so he stayed in P3, making sure he was under 3 seconds, then went on to win the Austrian Grand Prix. But the job is a bit difficult here tonight at the Japanese Grand Prix because he's starting in 8th place, and does he have the race pace to make his way to the field? We're all about to find out, but Mansell had a very tricky start to the season earlier on, and that's when Adams started to shine. But it's been a bit topsy-turvy in terms of the championship because each driver has had their strengths and weaknesses on different tracks so far. All 3 of them have had poor results in the past and good results as well. And Mansell's the top of the field because Burmeister has not shown for a few races, and Mansell's kept it very consistent in terms of results as much as he could. But he has made a few mistakes in the past as well. I finished outside the top 10 in Canadian Grand Prix in Spain, and getting caught out with incidents as well, especially in the first 2 races. Formation lap is about to go underway, and we're about to find out then what tyres are people opted to go on for. I think it's the mediums to hard strategy, as it always is. And look at that, Smithy. 2 hard runners. 3.
Calvin, the interesting one there. I think he's going to try and run long into this race. Of course, he's got a bit of pace on him, Calvin. Always a nice driver, clean driver as well. I think we'll see him make a few positions up. Adams as well. He'll be the one to watch, along with Calvin this race. Both of them starting at the very back of the field. Calvin with a row to himself, of course, as Dino Bambino, of course, still needs to get back into the lobby. Don't know if we saw that, but the 2 Hasses can work this really well off the line. We can have, if Johan gets a better start, maybe get the toe off of Electro Dan. But the thing is, Electro Dan cannot box his teammate in if Johan gets the better start. He needs to try and just leave him the space, let him kind of just, I don't want to say go through, but like give him the space in case he needs to. He's got the overspeed on both him and Smoke, because you don't want him to go around the outside. You don't want him to go miles up the inside. It could cause a huge crash into turn 1, like Senna Prost-esque from 1990. So this will be an interesting start to the race.
1989 is where Alan Prost and Ayrton Senna made contact in the final 2 corners. Then in 1990, 1 year later, they made contact going down into turn 1. Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen made contact in 2019 at turn 2, costing Leclerc I think it was he lost his mirror on the left-hand side, and it almost took out Hamilton as well when Davey came off his car. I think Max Verstappen still continued on. Valtteri Bottas in 2019, car-like reactions, started 3rd and finished in 1st. Remember, that qualifying was on a Sunday after torrential rain on a Saturday. Sebastian Vettel took pole unexpectedly as well in Japan, and unfortunately couldn't convert it to a win. Valtteri Bottas got a mega star, and he won the Japanese Grand Prix. 19 drivers line up in the Grand Prix, line up on the grid. Sebastian Vettel also took his 2nd World Championship in 2011 here at the Japanese Grand Prix. Same with Max Verstappen too, who took his 2nd World Championship in 2022. But nobody will take a championships no more at the Japanese Grand Prix because it starts very early in the season. It's only about round 4 as well, so no championships can be won anymore in Japan.
Interesting one here, sorry to interrupt there. Lord Brad, disqualified on the formation lap. Out of position now for the start. Ginger Tiger and Sonic Hawk might get the jump on him, and I'll let you take this away, Jamie.
Thank you, Charlie, and we'll see then what happens here at the Japanese Grand Prix. I cannot wait as the 5 lights are about to go off. Who will get a better start off the line? And the lights are away for round 20. Look at the Haas who gets bogged down, and here comes Smoke now, defending from your home. Smoke has placed his car beautifully. Here comes Zeno around the outside. The Mercedes are going around the outside of Electro Dan, and RB's gone off to the background. I think that's Sonic Hawk who's off the track. Ronnie's retired, and a safety car has came out immediately. What a horrendous start for some people.
Yeah, Sonic Hawk with a horror start for Electro Dan as well on the inside. And I think Martin got caught up into that incident with Ronnie. He's dropped quite a fair bit. Adams with an amazing start up to P14 off the line. Oliver with a good start as well, up 5 positions with Adams as well. Or is it 4? 4 each. Martin with a horror of a start there. I think he's... No. Thought he was missing a bit of his front wing. That was just me being a bit blind. But from what I've seen, yeah, Martin 6 positions lost, Ronnie 6 positions lost. That could have been the incident. Sonic Hawk with a horror round the outside incident. I think he might have gone on the grass, maybe forced onto the grass by, I think it would have been Tiger or Lord Brad maybe. Electra down with an absolute horror start though, down 3 positions after, well, really good qualifying from his teammate and himself, and he's just bogged down on the start.
Yeah, let's shut down. A very cautious approach to turn 1. He was being very cautious. That's the way to go sometimes, to make sure you get out of trouble. At the same time, it's other people's opportunity, and they definitely took it. Zeno took advantage of him around the outside. Lord Brad, the top G, took advantage of him around the outside, and he's lost 3 places from starting 2nd down to 5th. So it's just a difficult start for Electro Dan, but he definitely has the race pace to get back up there. It's a cautious start, lost 3 places, but we'll see if he can make it back. Safety cars came out to settle things down, and a safety car on the opening lap of a Grand Prix hasn't happened for such a long time here in SFR as well. It actually did happen, sorry. Yes, last week at the Australian Grand Prix, when it was Adams who caused the first safety car on the opening lap. Before that, it was a very long time ago. But anyways, all these drivers said nobody will dive into the pit lane because it'd be absolutely absurd to go to the pit lane unless you get the guys behind the midfield.
Oh, Keith's. Oh, Keith's, boy. 10-second penalty in the pit lane. Martin stays out, so no damage to him. Keith's with the damage on the front wing, so it might have been him getting the... Oh, Dan and Tiger have crashed under the safety car. Calvin onto the mediums off the bat, so he's made his mandatory stop. He's going to hopefully wait for a safety car later in the race. But Keith's with the 10-second. He's probably going to pit again. And yeah, so it might have been Keith's with the contact through turn 1. And as I was saying as well after start, well, there's not going to be safety cars here. It's quite a wide track, but I completely forgot to rule out turn 1, where it bottlenecks into the corner, and it's just very easy to crash into the back of someone.
And a trip to the pits is necessitated there for the Ferrari because unfortunately Ginger Tiger made contact with Electro Dan, picked himself a penalty, and he's also broken his wing. So I think he can serve his 5-second time penalty in the pit lane and change his wing, and he'll drop towards the back end of the field then in last place. It's a shame for Ginger Tiger. We know he's got some good pace every time he races. He's not had many races this season, has the Ferrari, but every time he appears he's always there to be forced to be reckoned with. So Ginger Tiger then will get back in the pit lane and serve his penalty and change his wing then. So a very long pit stop there for the Ferrari driver. Luckily for him, there is a safety car. Maybe we'll go in the hardcore power tyres and I dare say try and take them towards the end, but I think it'll be a big stretch. We know Matthias Sala always is good with tyre management because at the Brazilian Grand Prix, he took the hard for about 34 laps. And he won the Grand Prix too, with Blue Rocket chasing him down, same with Fireblaze as well. And that's tomorrow's race at the Japanese Grand Prix. I cannot wait. I think Harry Kane won the Japanese Grand Prix last season. And talking about last season, I think it was Keith who won the Japanese Grand Prix last season too. Currently down to P18, so not good for the recent Japanese Grand Prix winner there. And he's down to 17th place. Ginger Tiger then makes his way in the pit lane. And unfortunately for him, he will lose a lot of places and will have to make a big recovery from there if he could do so. I think it was Keith who won the Japanese Grand Prix last season. I think it was. No, it was Calvin.
Wing.
Oh, no.
Oh, he's going to be sat there for ages, just for nothing. It's going to be a 10-second penalty he's got to serve. Keith decides to stay out, surprisingly. I'm surprised he's not tried to save that 10-second now. But Ginger Tiger is... I dare say safety car's going to be in this lap, so yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to change that wing until maybe the next safety car, or he might have to risk it and go 20 seconds back.
Safety car will come in towards the end of this lap. They've done 2 laps. That if Ginger Tiger does catch up before the third sector. Keith, however, I'm surprised, like you said. So I'm surprised he hasn't gone on the hardcore power tyres and tucked it towards the end and served his penalty too. So that's a very interesting one. Dino, Babino, Martina swapping places there. Not quite sure why. But it looks like they're sorting themselves out now. They're both a ghost. Is Dino in the session? I am not quite sure. It's unknown to me. He's driving like an AI.
He left again. Yeah, he left again. It's, yeah, Martin. I'm not too sure what Martin's doing there. That's a strange one for the Aston Martin. I'm pretty sure Aston Martin used to be into that RBC to start the season, if I'm not wrong in saying that. Pretty sure
Yeah.
he was teammates with Sonic Hawk.
Yeah, he was, and things happened. Things got a bit heated with Sonic Hawk and Martin. Then Martin got the boot. Then he came back. Then he scored a podium for the Haas team in the Austrian Grand Prix, his first return. And yeah, he's in the Aston Martin right now. So he's been in 3 different teams this season: RB, Aston Martin, and also the Haas as well. I'm just looking at the Constructors Championship. Haas, there's no way Haas is last in the Constructors Championship. No way. They got 1 win this season, 2 podiums, but they're dead last in the championship. You would have thought that would be way high up there, but things happen. We know that Haas has had many reserve drivers this season. I'm not quite sure if the reserve drivers' points contribute towards the Constructors or not. I'm still yet to try and get confirmation about that one. But the safety car is coming in towards the end of this lap. We're coming towards the Casio Triangle chicane as Smoke will lead them away after no laps of racing, and we can get racing once again. Will Yarholm get a good reaction time on the back of Smoke? Will he try and get him down into turn 1 if he can? As he pulls away then, and he pulls around outside to break the toe immediately. There's Mercedes of Brad G, who's all over the back of the Ferrari of Zeno. Then Manso has got past Atlas Copo. He puts himself into 6th place. Great, but Atlas Copo's coming back around the outside. Into turn 2 we go. Can he hang around the outside? No, he can't. Manso claims the place, and he puts himself into 6th place ahead of both Red Bulls as well. So great reaction start there from Mansell in P4, well ahead of his championship rival of Adams in P13, who had a good recovery as well at the start of the Grand Prix. Look at that. Top G is all over the bag. He almost hit the back of the Ferrari. Oh, Zeno really struggled to carry the speed through Dunlop corner. Now Brad G struggled in Degner 1 as well, as Zeno just pulled away from a few tenths there. But so far, Smoke has got us covered, but Yarholm is all at the back of him as we go down towards the hairpin, just locking the rears up there. He didn't tap the back of him. The rears just snatched. But Yarholm needs to play the patient waiting game. Can't afford to go for any crazy moves so far in this Grand Prix. Just sit behind and wait for the right opportunity in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, just a quick one as well. I've just noticed Calvin entered the pit lane off the start. Not surprised for Ginger Tiger to enter the pit lane, but why did Calvin change his ring? So speaking of hitting the back of someone, I believe Calvin might have hit the back of someone as Adams in the wall.
Oh my goodness me, it goes bad to worse for Adams. Adams' 2nd retirement in a row, and Mansell will be seeing him in the barriers, and that's more championship points. It's gone from bad to worse for Adams, who had it going his way towards the mid part of the season.
Oh, Yarham's faked Xenon.
Sorry, what did you say?
Yarham has just faked Xenon into the pit lane. I saw a little wiggle from Yarham. I was thinking, oh, why is he pitting so early? But no, Xenon has been faked into the pit lane. Atlas Scopo follows with Keeps and Dino's AI. And that is a big shame for Adams. Huge shame.
Adams, the next race is in Vegas. Hopefully you get the jackpot there. But unfortunately here in Japan, he's retired for the 2nd time in a row. No more points for him. He'll lose a lot of points towards Mansell. Funny enough, that Burmeister hasn't raced for 2 races in a row. Adams won't gain any points to him whatsoever, despite him racing 2 races in a row. So it's not helping the championship whatsoever, as Mansell will continue to streak away. And it's looking good for Mansell so far. The man currently in P5. And let's see, is the podium on the cards? Does he have the pace to compete with the top 4? I dare say yes, he's definitely got the pace to do so, but it'll be so difficult for Mansell to try and make their way past. He's in a DRS train, of course. Both Hasses are 2nd and 4th place. And moving your way through the field in a DRS train is ever so difficult, because the guys ahead of you have the DRS and they're carrying the same speed on you. So it's just a bit in a bit of no man's land being sat in that DRS train. But however, Charlie, I will go to the toilet. Take the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, no worries, man. I think, to be honest, it'll be a tough one. I think Hards can maybe stretch to the end of this race. Of course, got Xenon on the Hards now in P12. Of course, having a pit stop over the guys in front, but they could possibly claw that back if they could do that in the 2nd stint. But I don't think they could. Calvin now overtaking Dino's AI, but no. Nothing comes there. That was just some glitch on the time board, maybe. 6 car should be in next lap, barring any pit stops this lap. Should be all fine. Smoke with a nice relaxing time at the front at the minute, kinda. Just 2 safety car restarts and race start itself, I think. Could have been a lot more stressful if Yaham had maybe gone for it up the inside. He had the better start, or had the better reaction on the safety car restart. Basket and Emil into the pit lane there. Onto the hards it should be. P17 he'll drop to in that Williams. Yeah, it is the hards, and dropping down he goes. Smoke with the lead at the minute, of course, if you're just joining us. After at the minute, lap 6 safety car. He's done really well off the start there. Fended off Electro Dan, who kind of messed up his start, getting a nice, he just bogged down on the start, couldn't do much about it. Yaham with a nice start, and Brad, the top G, up to P3 surprisingly after getting a DSQ on the formation lap. Xenon though, P11, the one to watch on the hards. It could be interesting to see what he can get done in the rest of this race.
I am back, Charlie.
Yeah, nice. Enjoy your was.
Yeah, I did. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So we're in the early hours of Le Mans.
Right, so I think the safety car will come in towards the end of this lap. 2 safety cars in about 4 or 5 laps. Plenty of chaos, and crucially, Calvin and Dino Bambino are swapping places, but that's not. Oh, he's not in the session again, so that's probably why they're trying to get ahead of him before the safety car comes in to make sure they don't lose a lot of time. I've tried that tactic before. Sometimes they don't work, but yeah, it's one of those things in racing, unfortunately, where you need the internet connection, but he hasn't got it. Has the Slovakian driver. I miss his Slovakian compatriot, Marco, who always puts on a good show at whenever he raced, fighting with the likes of Harry Kane, Pocket Fighter Guy, with those guys up there. But unfortunately, he's not shown in the last few races, so I hope he's okay, and I hope to see him return, because every time he does, he always puts on a wonderful show and great battling and a very clean driver indeed. So Smoke, once again, will control the safety car restart. He had to jump on Yarham. He kept him at bay before turn 1, but now he's got to do the work again. And Yorham lights it up in the final corner, and Smoke gets away again. So Yorham did not get a good reaction time there, lit up the rear tyres, and now he's using his battery to try and stay ahead of Mercedes on top G, moving left and right there to warm up his tyres. As we head down towards turn 1 we go. Anybody close enough to make a move, close there is putting pressure on Manson in front of him. His teammate pitted, and as Copo has gone for the hard compound tyres. Watch out for those guys on the hard compound tyres, because A, they can take them towards the end, and B, they don't have to pit again, whereas the rest of them do, to make their mandatory one-stop strategy work. So this could be another scenario there at the Austrian Grand Prix, where some people pitted early in the Grand Prix, and it actually benefited them too, because the guys had to catch up. They didn't have enough time to either. Joachim is 1.3 seconds away from Smoke. He had great pace initially before the safety car came out, or when the safety car came out, but afterwards he's dropped away, so he's lost a bit of form there, and rhythm has Joachim. Now he's got the Mercedes all at the back of him too, so he becomes the DRS train in second place there, dragging these drivers along. But is there any way now to get himself back in DRS range of Smoke? Has he got the pace and the hash to try and get himself under that 1 second range of DRS and crucially stay in contention with Smoke?
A little bit wide there as Smoke puts up some smoke through Spoon, as Yaham might have picked up a warning for that. He's got Lord Brad all over the back of him. Could we see a dive bomb later in this race between these two through the Casio Triangle? Would be very interested to see Senna Prost-esque again. Mansell holding on to the back of these. He'll gain time through the Casio Triangle, of course, being a chicane. He's slow up on. Smoke with the fastest lap of the race, as Yaham did dip into the 1 second. He's just dipped back in again, so I think if he can keep it clean the rest of this lap, he should be okay.
And as you can see on the steering wheel of the Haasman, he's used a lot of battery to try and get himself inside the 1 second range of DRS. He's used a bit more too, as he's trying to get that Haas under 1 second to stay very crucially in that DRS range. Same with Smoke as well, trying to keep that gap over 1 second there, not dragging any of his competitors along, so he can pull away and be alone in this Grand Prix if he can. Dino Bino has been dropped into last place, unfortunately. Basket Mill is a newcomer, so I forgot to mention that. There's been so much happening, but welcome Basket Mill. He's pitted on the brand new set of hardcore power tyres, currently down in P16, and we'll see what he could do. He could take those tyres towards the end of this race, but Sonic Hawk, his teammate, is off the back of Energy Dan, and he's overtaken. No, there's contact. Energy Dan is in the wall. What happened there to those two? Did they make contact, or did Energy Dan just lost it by himself? And now Sonic Hawk has been overtaken by Oliver, as Oliver puts himself into 7th place there, ahead of the RB. Was it an optimistic move there for Sonic Hawk into P8, because he did get ahead of Oliver too? So was it a dive bomb going down towards the hairpin and caused Dan to crash? But unfortunately, we'll find out towards the end of the race. However, Oliver is 1.6 seconds away. He's on the hardcore power tyres, of course, so he's going for that longer stint before we switch over to the mediums. Not able to keep up with the top 6 in front of him. The top 6 have checked out. Now Sonic Hawk needs to get past immediately, so don't lose much time towards the top 6 there. And Yarham, it does get himself a DRS rage, crucially.
Fastest lap. And I'm wondering what happened there between Dan and Sonic. I do have access to Dan's party chat. Sonic gets the move done through down towards turn 1. I do have access to Dan's party chat, so I could possibly join, and I'd probably be bombarded with a load of insults, but I don't think that would be best for him. Joining mid-race, and I presume he's in with Smoke as well, currently leading the race. 7 tenths, 8 tenths-ish as we enter the first delta of the lap at sector 1.
Yarham puts the pressure on Smoke once again. Then he got that gap down under a second, crucially. Now can focus on saving his battery, because that's very important around here. Saving battery so you don't become vulnerable, and having the battery to overtake down the straight as well. So good progress there for Yarham. We're finally seeing a much better race from the Haas man. We know he falls down the order quite a lot. We know he gets involved in incidents quite a lot in this Grand Prix. There is still a long way to go, so any of that could happen so far. But Yarham has finally got to the grips of this game. It's a bit like me, where I had good qualifying, but unfortunately I just dropped backwards in races because I just couldn't get adjusted to the race pace either. But Mansell now is dropping away from 1 second range away from Electro Dance, so it looks like he starts to lose pace there and could be under threat. There is a yellow flag. Is that an Alpine again? I think it's Energy Dan who's gone for a spin under the bridge, and unfortunately for him, his race goes from bad to worse. But Yarham once again another slap of oversteer at the final corner. Robert Kubica, and I think Jarno Trulli or Timo Glock crashed there back in 2009, and I also think back in 2019, Oliver gets ahead of Sonic Hawk, or stays ahead. He puts himself back in 7th place there. Not good for Sonic Hawk on the medium compound tyres, so looking to get past that Williams, but unfortunately becoming an obstacle in his way and not able to progress through the field quickly as he would have wanted to try and stay up and catch up towards the top 6 there.
Oliver struggling there through sector 1. A lot of sliding and slipping about there, and he's done it again, and he's going to go for it, Sonic. Oh, that could have been close through the Degners.
Yeah, that's not a place to overtake. Unfortunately, the door was shut in his face, and that could have ended badly. But luckily, both drivers made it out unscathed, so Sonic Hawk has to find another way past there of the Williams driver in front of him. And look at that. Smoke again has pulled away from Yarham. The gap's built up to 1 second again, and this time it's Top G putting the pressure on Yarham in front of him. So this could be a very interesting battle between those two. Yarham is struggling to stay in the DRS range of Smoke there. Smoke has a response, but it's not enough though, because the gap is just under 1 second there. So Yarham keeping his winning hopes alive by keeping that gap under a second, and it's helping him stay ahead of Top G as well, because Top G is looking to pounce at any second to try and put himself in second and catch Smoke. But this time Yarham's got himself securely under 1 second gap of DRS there. He is running low on battery, of course, but I presume he used a lot of battery trying to take contention there with Smoke. That's the disadvantage you have when you use a lot of battery, being outside the 1 second range of DRS. You can't save it enough, and you end up being under massive pressure from the guys behind. Adam says, well, that's fun. Adams, what happened to you? Did you make contact with somebody, or did you lose it by yourself? Sonic Hawk, however, is ahead of Oliver. As at turn 1, finally the RB dispatches the Williams, but I think the hardcore powered tyres now are going to be a better race tyre at this stage than the mediums then, so I think they're on a level playing field, and the crossover point may have happened between the hards and mediums there, so I don't think Oliver will lose too much time towards Sonic Hawk there.
Yeah, shouldn't be too much lost there. Might even see him gain back into it. He's been keeping up with him a lot recently. Yarham right there now, 5 tenths, half a second there, as through the hairpin they go. I'm not too sure what the name of that hairpin is, but he's gained quite a bit of it. They're clearly looking at the steering wheel as that is what we see. Lock up from Smoke. Johan staying safe within the lines. I'm going to check some
Oh,
warnings.
sorry to interrupt there, but Zane's trying to go around the outside. Into Spoon he goes, gets pushed on the curb there. Martin is not giving up, but Smoke has better tyres there, so he's trying to get past the Aston Martin as quickly as he can. Now he gets to run out of the exit, but here he is then. As you can see, using the battery, trying to Martin. Is this going to be a Fernando Alonso? Down at 2005 in 130 yard down he is, and he goes, he takes the place away. Uses the curb too, and he puts himself into 9th place there. Smoke has pitted to get rid of the medium compound tyres. The Williams, Oliver struggling, trying to go through. Now the side by side out of the exit. Oliver is really struggling on the hard compound tyres. Zeno will have the DRS on the back of the Williams driver. The yellow flag's down there. I'm not quite sure who that is for. What's going on down there? It's Alas Copo. Copo spun. Now, I wanted to mention that to those guys who pitted for the hard compound tyres during the second safety car, watch out for them. But unfortunately, Atlas Copo has spun the car, rejoining 12th place, and now Smoke is just behind him too. So he did get the undercut, but obviously not the undercut he wanted, because he's lost a lot of time, and Smoke will be all over the back of him very shortly.
Yeah, that's it's very interesting, that scope of that. Looks, if we look at the gap between him and Xenon, it's about 7-8 seconds, probably a bit more. Yeah, about 8-9 seconds maybe between him and Atlas Copo. Between Xenon and Atlas Copo, plus the 1 second Smoke has had. Say he's got a decent gap. If you can just manage the tyres, manage the battery, keep it nice and clean, don't go for any stupid moves, he should have this in the bag. It's Oliver. He might be going for this through Spoon. No, Sonic Hawk gives him a little bit of an angle, a little bit of a tease to go around the outside, but he just says no, not going to risk it, I'm going to save it for the main straight. Xenon's probably just going to save his battery for a bit, sit behind these two squabbling. Let's see what the top three do. Will they respond to the undercut threat by Smoke? Are these three going to be in the pit lane? No, they're not. Ginger Tiger, Electro Dan is unfortunately. Ginger Tiger is. The reason why I say Ginger Tiger, because he's using the Haas, is Electro Dan, as Lord G is right behind Yohum, as he will not go for a move down into turn 1. Oliver, Xenom, and will move up a place. In the background, that is the Ferrari going for a move, a Ginger Tiger on Calvin Racing, but can't quite do it. There's Keith all at the back of him too. Those guys who pitted under the second safety car, and look at that, Keith's got a much better run coming out of the corner, but can't find a way past because there's no room around the outside or on the inside either. Problem is for Xenon with P5, he needs to get past Oliver as quickly as he can so we don't hold him up. Sonic Horde did pit, by the way, so that's why I couldn't see him in this squabble. So he's pitted and Xenom's dispatched him. I think Xenom's in a really good place to try and win this Grand Prix, I dare say. He's got the pace, but Smoke is catching with 15 laps left to go in the Grand Prix. So between Smoke and Xenom, I think, as we're coming towards the hairpin. Xenom needs to get past, and he needs to be careful too on his locking up into the hairpin there, because that could have been very nasty indeed. Almost lost the car, so I think he maybe has to adjust his brake bias upwards towards 56 to make sure he doesn't lose the rear end again. Yeah, just a quick one on Yarham as well. 2 warnings at the minute. He needs to keep it nice and clean throughout the rest of this race, the second half of this race, as we will be hitting halfway point in the next lap. Well, literally next lap is a little lock up there. Do we see him pit maybe? Lord Brad, yeah we do. Into the pits comes Yarham, in comes Brad as well. Brad came in quite quickly there. I thought he was going to get a 10 second. Might even see him get held up there by Mansell. No, we're fine. So Oliver takes the lead of the Grand Prix then, as he puts himself into first place. So remember, he hasn't pitted just yet. He's going from hards to mediums. Xenom has pitted. He's done mediums to hards. Calvin is right at the back of Ginger Tiger. These guys who pitted under the first or second safety car can't take their tyres towards the end, but might have to pay a big price by saving them. I did this strategy last season on the F123 game, where I started the medium compound tyres, and it was actually the other way around, actually. I started on the hard compound tyres. I pitted onto lap 8 or 9 when the safety car came. I had no choice but to pit. And I took the mediums towards the end, and they were on 80-something%. I still got a podium that day too. But it was all about tyre saving, managing the tyres, making sure he stayed on the track. In the background, Keith almost lost it at dead too. Went off the track and slid in the corner, but luckily saves it and still remains in the Grand Prix on the back of Calvin and Ginger Tiger as well. Yeah, having a quick look there, it's a 10-second gap for Smoke at the minute to Xenon. Well, about 9.6 now. Xenon needs to get past Oliver ASAP. He does. As Oliver is holding him up big time. He needs to get it done, hopefully into turn 1, maybe even into Casio Triangle. Does he have to run? No. Looked like he had a bit of pace on him, but no, he does not have that in him at the minute. I don't think he might have a little look. No, he'll get him into turn one. Nice.
No!
Oh!
Come on, Xenom, keep it nice and good under control, man. It's so frustrating.
That was close, and his teammates behind him now.
You can't afford to make small mistakes like that. You're just costing yourself a victory. Like, you just got to try and be patient, set yourself up at the final 2 corners, because you lose the time towards Smoke who's coming, and also Oliver's pulling away as well. And Xenom could have took the lead of the Grand Prix there by setting himself up nice in the final 2 corners, getting past Oliver. This is Xenom's big chance to win this Grand Prix now. But you keep making mistakes like that, he won't get a first win, unfortunately. But now his teammates were behind him too, followed by Calvin and Keith. He had a big gap over Smoke as well in P7. What is the gap towards Smoke and Xenom? About 8.2 seconds. It would have lost a lot of time due to that as well. He needs to get past Oliver immediately and pull away, because the problem Smoke will have is that he'll have to overtake in Mills, Keith, Calvin Racing, Ginger Tiger. That's going to be very difficult. And I think Ginger Tiger might help his teammate out here as well to try and delay the inevitable with Smoke coming on the scene here. So, with 12 laps left to go in the Grand Prix, Xenom has got to put an end to these mistakes, whatever he's doing wrong. Double lock-up going towards the Casio Triangle. Look at that. Another moment. Oh, he's lost it again. And Ginger Tiger puts himself into second place. And Xenon once again struggling in race trim. And now he's been pushed into P3. Do you know how frustrating it is to watch that all the time? Literally, that's been the story throughout the whole of the season.
That's the thing, though. You get frustrated with yourself. Not only the frustration to watch, it's frustrating to be. I've been in that position. That's I've been told I crash a lot, stuff like that. That is a lot of the reason I push too hard. I get frustrated with myself when I make mistakes, and that's why I end up making mistakes, ending up in the wall. And it's very easy to do. He's going to go for it around the outside. Keeps as well going for it around the outside. What is he not doing? This is big balls.
Yeah, very risky move. That could have ended badly. Could have taken both Ferrari drivers out there. And Calvin and Keith then interested in this battle. 4-way fight for first. But we know Smoke on the freshest tyres is on the way very soon. The gap towards him and Smoke is 6.2 seconds from Ginger Tiger towards the Alpine and picks P6 there. The Alpine on the freshest tyres will catch up very shortly. But the question is, how difficult will it be for Smoke to try and overtake the top 5? Well, I say the top 5, the top 4, because we know he can dispatch Bassett very quickly. He's on his own in P5 with no DRS, no help, no support on all the tyres, so Smoke will get past him very quickly. Oh, look at this, side by side there with Keith and Calvin then. And Calvin just stays ahead, but Keith is just sticking there. And let's see, he just bites off for the time being, not going to go for a move down towards Spoon, and stays in 4th place for the time being. And this is going to be a very interesting race towards the end, with Smoke catching up. But how difficult will it be when he catches up and trying to overtake these guys?
It'll be an interesting end to this race. I think you got Calvin there on the podium from last. He's got a chance at a win here, maybe Calvin, if he can keep it on track, keep it in good position. Keeps with the penalty there. That is quite big. He's nearly hit the back of Calvin coming out of the final corner. Martin's in the wall and safety car is deployed. Is it too late?
Oh no! Listen to this. If the safety car comes out, rejoins ahead of Ginger Tiger, he needs to overtake. He does. Oh, that could have ended badly there. Oh my goodness me. Imagine that, these guys being stuck behind a safety car, not having a chance to pit. But at the same time now, Smoke went through, Bassett went through because of the same straight there. So these guys just survived. Your home's in the pit lane. That could have ended very badly there for those guys who couldn't pit, where the rest of the guys could.
Yeah, what happened to Martin? That's an interesting one. Should be mediums to the end here. Should not, and I repeat, do not go onto the softs at this point in the race. Dan, of course, on the softs at this point in the race, as I say that. But he does have the chance to pit. Sonic Hawk on the mediums. Dino on the hard still. Surprised his AI has not pit. Mansell on those mediums. Yarham, Oliver in the perfect position there. Well, not the perfect position. He's kind of been done out of a decent position. 2 laps later, and he's got that race lead and possibly a podium in the bag there. This is horrible for Smoke. Does Smoke stay out? Possibly.
Well, it does work sometimes, but I think to have a better chance to win, go on the mini compound tyres. I think the guys all at the back of him will have a big chance. Oh, Calvin there. Oh, he's lost his wing. Calvin has just hit the back of Xenom, and Calvin gets a 10 second time penalty.
That could be controversial.
I think they're going quickly and slamming the brakes on for their Delta. Oh my goodness me! But is Zeno trying to build up a gap so he doesn't try and get held up with the double
think
stack?
so, which is actually illegal to do in SFR. You're not allowed to do that at all. So that could be a penalty coming Xenon's way. Could be a penalty, maybe not coming Calvin's way, as everyone does come into the pits. Calvin now is going to drop behind Atlas. He's going to drop as Smoke stays out.
And so does Electro Dan. They're going for track position then. So let's see. Will it work for these three?
Stays out. Calvin with the 10-second. Calvin with the wing change. That's going to put him all the way to P11, maybe P12, possibly. If Yarham can get it round the track quick enough, here he comes. They haven't caught up to the safety car yet. He's going to go down to P12, P13 possibly, and that was a possible win for... I feel really sorry for Calvin there. And that's P13, P14, possibly even P15, no, P14. That is horrible and heartbreaking for Calvin there. From a possible podium, possible win, to possibly not even being in the top 10.
Got to give respect to Oliver as well. Started down to P17, had a really difficult qualifying, had good pace on the hard compound tyres, and now he's up into P5 on a brand new set of the medium compound tyres. Could this be the chance for Oliver in 5th place there? Got ahead of the rest of the people he was racing as well, such as Ginger Tiger, Keith and Xenom, so it's worked in Oliver's favours here in P5. The top 4 has not pitted either. Well, top 4's not pitted. Klusler hasn't pitted either, so he's not gone for the medium compound tyres. These guys are going for track position and hoping they have the pace to defend from the guys in the medium compound tyres. Watch out for the last few laps of this Grand Prix. It could get very spicy indeed between new medium runners versus older hard runners. We're about to find out who wins in this battle. But Smoke has opted to stay out there on the hard compound tyres. He has good pace, but will it be enough to defend from those guys? Where's Mansell in all of this? Down in 12th place, so not a good race either for Mansell in the Aston Martin there.
And Mansell, I think he got caught out with the safety car. I'm pretty sure he was in P8, I think. I'm pretty sure on that. Don't count me on that one. But I just feel really sorry for Calvin. I just feel absolutely horrible. Of course, it must be heartbreaking. I've been in those positions, being caught out like that, and yeah, it's a horrible feeling. And I think we could see a really aggressive drive for the last 7-8 laps here by the Sauber.
Yeah, Calvin will be looking for redemption, and we know he's a regular top 5 finisher, is Calvin, proven to be his results as well. And it's just a shame he hasn't won a Grand Prix since the British GP all the way back towards round 2, I think it was, where the Div 1 race got cancelled because of the England versus Spain match for the semi-finals, but had a big chance to be in the podium here tonight. Final, sorry.
It was the final. Yeah, final. And I believe Martin will love me for saying this. England lost. So, yeah, I think Martin will enjoy me saying that. Cassidy might enjoy me saying that. Adams, I'm not too sure on his ideals on that, but a lot of these drivers are English, of course. Oliver, Smokey's English, Keith's, Calvin, Mansell, Dan. A lot of English drivers in this league. Yarham as well, he's English. Yeah, and if I'm not wrong in saying, I could be allowed. I'm going to ask Dan. Obviously, I signed up for the British GP before it was cancelled. I might see if I can get back on that grid.
Williams needs you.
Yeah, just the last blast for the last end of the season. Dan, make it happen, man. Come on.
Well, when you and Romovich were teammates, it was looking well for you guys because you were scoring good points, but you two left the mains Williams team. Now it's in the hands of Fireblaze and AMS Nico as well. So 2 new drivers Williams this season after a big driver swap, and so far it's going for well for them because Nico and Fireblaze are really quick drivers. But yeah, it's a shame Romovich went. I wish he stayed because he generally had good pace. Yeah, won the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, but unfortunately...
Romovich was my teammate. He was an amazing driver, an amazing person. A great person to have in your ear when you were racing. Nice advice, really nice person to talk to as well, and he's really good. and I really do hope he returns one day to the league. He's obviously still in server. It will be very nice to see him one day. Hopefully soon-ish. Sonic Hawk into the pits. Is that softs? It's softs. But yeah, of course, you say both you and Ramavage left. I don't think I was kind of forcibly left my seat. But no, it's a shame to see Ramavage go, and I really do hope him and wish him the best. He's a really nice guy, and it will be nice to see him back in the future. And it's really good to hear that the team's doing well as well. Obviously, I left it in pretty a bad state with multiple DNFs and race bans, quali bans, and yeah. We'll see what happens.
Currently third in the constructors are Williams, fighting with Aston Martin. There's only 5 points separating them and Williams as well. So a big battle for third and did one when Fireblaze and Nico came in, and they're doing a really good job so far in the Williams camp because they definitely need it. Noah Dietrich as well, who joined for Williams. Nico's in the Aston Martin. Noah Dietrich is the Williams replacement for you, and Fireblaze is the Williams replacement too. We've had plenty of people in the Williams camp so far, but we've finally got 2 full-time drivers in the Williams. If Mansell finishes low down, maybe championship isn't over. Yep, high hopes for Adams. He's hoping that Mansell gets involved. Well, he doesn't hope, but he hopes Mansell doesn't score as many points as he possibly can in P12 there. And Mansell need these points as well because there's only 7 points separating Mansell and Burmeister. So Mansell needs to try and climb up the order as high as he can, take as many points away as he can from Burmeister and Adams, and try and get the good advantage within 3 races left to go, because you never know when Burmeister can return. Safety car is coming towards the end of this lap. What was you going to say?
Yeah. Just a quick one. Calvin, of course, 1 place behind Mansell. He will be driving aggressive. Sorry about my dog. He will be driving aggressive to make those positions up that he lost during that safety car incident with Xenon. Currently P8 Xenon, and we should be getting going out of this final corner. No, he's going to wait. He's going to wait. He's going to wait. He's going to wait. Are we going to see any incidents? It's going to be very dodgy. Is this a Haas going there? Yarham's made a position on out of the scope off the line. He's going to have to brake and let him back through. Klus is up to P5. Oliver's up to P4, sorry. I'll let you take this one away.
Oliver up to 4th place, he's capitalising on Klus on the mini compound tyres there. Keith into turn 2, tries to overtake Ginger Tiger, but can't quite do so. Alex Copo and Joachim are scrapping away. Here comes Joachim then on the brand new set of mini compound tyres. He pitted under the 3rd safety car, looking to try and claim back. He's lost positions there as he's climbing over the back of basket. In Mills, he's up to P9. Great drive so far from the Williams driver, and now Joachim is trying to put pressure on him. No way you should try and send it in the first deck. No, he backs off because it's such a tight corner. You don't want to go for moves there. The best opportunities out of the hairpin, if you can get a good run out of the second deck there, try and set yourself up, going down the inside. It's a bit too far back. No, it's not. Down the inside, going towards the hairpin. He's going to make contact. Oh. He's not going to make contact there. The Williams gives him enough room, and the Williams stays around the outside of the Haasman indeed. So great defence there from the Emils, and now Johan once again finds himself stuck. But Oliver could be on course for a podium or potential win on a brand new set of mini compound tyres. Is really suffered bad luck. His highest finish this season was 9th place at the Australian Grand Prix, and now he finds himself in a podium or winning position. Here comes Ginger Tiger now, taking advantage of the Red Bull as he puts himself into P5, the highest Ferrari driver so far. Is he on course? Oh, look at Oliver, almost into the back of the Mercedes driver. Ginger Tiger's now side by side, but Oliver just is ahead. Joachim has picked himself up a 3-second time confidence.
Xenon spun it. Keith has lost contact. There goes Johan.
Oh my goodness me. And their races have done. Calvin side by side with Alex Copo. And Calvin up into P9, but he has to back up because there's yellow flags. There's yellow flags. Mansell's going to go around the outside. It's turn 1 and turn 2, but can't quite do so. Now Mansell finds himself. Energy Dan puts himself into P11.
Here comes Sonic Hawk around the outside as well. This is all kicking off. What happened there? I don't have a clue. I just saw Xenon get pushed off a little bit. What's happened there between Keeps? Not much. Mansell and Dan still fighting through. Dunlop, Mansell making a mistake there. Sonic Hawk might go for it. There goes Keeps again. He's off.
Yeah, Keith has front wing damage, understeered off Dunlop, and unfortunately his race has gone bad to worse in a high position before the safety car. But I don't have no idea what's going to go on this Grand Prix because 3 safety cars that came out and it's changed everything.
From what I saw there, it was Xenon round the outside of Keith's. Keith's kind of shoved him through the first part of the Casio Triangle. Second part, Keith's got shoved. Xenon then lit the rears up, made contact with Keith's, who then made contact with Yarham, I think. That is what I saw on board with Xenon. I didn't get the full view. Dan is still chasing down Smoke for this race lead.
Oliver in P4 has a second chance of trying to get ahead of the top 3 then. So after his mistake, here he is with the overtake available. Sets the fast up the Grand Prix. The Haas is defending. Here comes Oliver now side by side with the Mercedes. He puts himself on the podium, but there's still 5 laps left to go because there's Brad trying to go around the outside, sticking around the outside, but doesn't have the grip. And Oliver is up into P3. Can Oliver keep his nerves intact? The pressure will be on now. He knows he can try and win this Grand Prix. A podium will get his nerves going, but a potential win will definitely get his nerves going as well. Oliver has struggled so much in Division 2. He got dropped from Division 1. And here he is then fighting for a podium. Let's see, can he get a podium? Can he get a race win? The odds are him to win this Grand Prix. There's the guys ahead. There is 4 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Does Oliver have the pace of the mini compound tyres to try and get the top 2? Are fighting amongst themselves on the hard compound tyres. Electro Dan versus Smoke. Electro Dan had a horrible start, dropped into 5th place, but he's still there in 2nd where he started, putting the pressure. But the problem is, there's a Rampage in Williams right behind him on the brand new set of mini compound tyres, so he might get displaced. And here he is. You can see Oliver has much more better grip and speed in the corners. Can he utilise that? Try and get a good run all the way down towards the Casio Triangle chicane and try and drag him towards turn 1. Here he is then, right step back of the Haasman, but I don't think he'll go for the move just yet, waiting for turn 1 with the DRS. But the Haasman have DRS as well. As we make our way down towards the chicane we go. Oliver got to make sure he doesn't outbrake himself like he did last time. Almost cost him 5th place because Ginger Tiger was ready to pounce. Here it is then. Oliver right to the back of the Haas. Ginger Tiger's lost it. Unfortunately, he spun. But here we are then. Oliver has the DRS and he blasts past the Haas. He's open to 2nd place. And next target is the race leader.
Yeah, nice move, Oliver there. Getting a nice exit. Could have gone for it into Smoke into turn 1. He just needs to save his battery now. Just make sure you don't use too much of it. Sonic Hawk and Calvin fighting there. Energy Dan and Calvin fighting there, sorry. Mansell still fighting for that P11. Yarham right behind him. He's rampaging after that contact. Calvin still all over the back of him, as Scopo might even get dragged into this battle with Dan and with Calvin and Sonic Hawk as well on those softs.
Got a bit close between these two. Oh, Brad G just clipping the apex of Deck the 2, put him off the track. He was side by side with the Haas Dunlop, and he almost went for it too, but realised he had to back out of it because Deck the 1 was coming up, so he did back out of it, but unfortunately had a really poor exit.
Sonic Hawk around the outside. He's going to get the exit. He's going to get it done. There's contact made, heading through the dipping right-hander, and it's going to be close into Spoon. There's still banging wheels, and Calvin's going to go for it. Contact still banging wheels. Mansell there as well with Yarham behind. Mansell with a slight snap on the exit. Yarham might be able to get him into Casio Triangle here.
Main eyes go towards the top 2 because Oliver is right behind Smoke. Then as we head towards the chicane we go. Brad doing a dummy, trying to force Electro down out wide, but Oliver gets a poor exit himself, taking too much curve on the entry, lost the rear end, but able to collect it, scoop it all up with the DRS enabled. All eyes on Oliver to win this Grand Prix. How is Oliver going to play it out? Will he stay behind Smoke to get the DRS and go for him on the final lap of the Grand Prix? The problem is he's derated, so he needs to save some battery because he might be exposed towards the Grand Prix if he does overtake Smoke in these stages. But how is he going to plan this out? How is he going to think about staying behind and going to go for him on the last lap? He's going to go for him immediately and hoping to pull away the medium compound tyres. I'm not quite sure, but those medium compound tyres then might be ended. Their peak, he gets on the curb of Dunlop and Smoke is pulling away. Here comes Top G side by side again, like the last lap. He won't go for it as he backs off into Deck the 1, going in towards Deck the 2. Oliver needs to keep it nice and clean. The pressure probably getting towards him, and Electro Dan now might be able to take advantage on Oliver as we go towards the hairpin we go. As he's trying to go around the outside, will he have the grip to do so? The gap is 1 second between him, and here comes the Mercedes on Top G, gets a better exit under and over, and he puts himself back in the podium. Does Top G. So Electro Dan, who was in 2nd place a few laps ago, is now pushed into 4th place, but they know Oliver is struggling, maybe suffering from a bit of pressure there, started to lose his focus just a bit, but he still needs to try and get himself under the 2nd major DRS to protect himself against Top G and Electro Dan in P4. Klusler once again doing a great job. Behind him is the debutant of Basket and Mill. Great drive from Basket and Mill so far, and he's side by side with Klusler into 130 yard. Basket and Mills puts himself into 5th place. Great drive.
His teammate.
Alex Kirkhope got up to your side. But I want to keep it out of the top
corner.
3. Keep it out of the top 3 because I want to see what happens. It's the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Oliver does stay in DRS range. I think he struggles in the first sector. We see that evidently, especially because of the hard compound tyres, he's losing grip. Left, right, and centre. It's the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. Alas Copo does get ahead of Klusler. He's on better medium tyres, and Klusler, unfortunately for him, pushed into P7. But here we are. They can Smoke win his 4th race of the season after 3 in a row, but it went downhill for him after that. But Smoke is looking for another victory here. They said he was too quick for Division 2, but he's had many challenges thrown at him this season, and I wonder, can he defend from the guy in the middle? Compound tyres, Top G, always super close, but not making a move, as Adams is supporting Oliver. A lot of people are supporting Oliver because they know he's on course for his first podium. We know he has struggled in Division 1 and Division 2 this season, and finally, he has the chance. It's all in his hands. It's all about whether he can keep it nicely tidy in the last set to try and set himself up. The gap is 5/10 now between him and Smoke, so keep it nice and tidy going towards Spoon. As we make our way now towards this section, this can be very difficult indeed. As we make our way now towards the exit of Spoon, kept it nice and tight. He's got a bit of battery stored up as well in the energy recovery system. Can use it all down the straight, but can Oliver overtake Smoke on the straight? Smoke is defending. Look at that, moving left and right there to break the toe, but will be useful as we make our way towards 130R. Oliver is in a prime position, but the question is, can he keep it nice and tidy in the final two corners? He's got to. He has done so. A bit of wheel spin there, but you can see that Smoke is derated. DRS, overtake is available. Can Oliver overtake Smoke for the lead of the Grand Prix? Here we are then. Smoke is defended as Oliver goes down the inside. Oliver takes the lead of the Grand Prix. But this is very important now because we see plenty of occasions in league racing where second place man might outdrag him towards the chicane. Will he do it? Oliver, this is a big opportunity, not only to get a podium, but the win. Can he keep it nice and tidy? So the remainder of this lap, huge pressure. Oliver is up against unexpected winner in this Grand Prix. But we'll see. Can he keep it nice and clean? Now look at Top G once again, looking for a move. That's 3 times he tried to dummy someone into that corner. But look at Smoke, gets a poor exit. Will Top G now take advantage? As we go down towards the hairpin, Top G is going to go down the inside. No, he's not, but he's getting contact with Electro Dan. Electro Dan taps the back of the Mercedes, but luckily not for wind damage. The top 4 get away unscathed as Oliver will lead them away. But will he have enough battery stored up to pull away from Smoke? Will Smoke outdrag him down the inside into the triangle chicane? We're about to find out. Can he keep it nice and tidy in this section? Top G goes a bit wide. Look at Smoke. He's all over the back of Oliver now. Oliver, could he be exposed as we go down towards this main straight? Here we go. Then the DRS is being used. Can Smoke try and find a way past? They're side by side into 130. Here we go. Side by side with the Haas and Mercedes. We're heading down towards the chicane. We go. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Smoke has the inside lock. Oliver trying to stick it on the outside. On the inside now is side by side. Who's going to get a better exit? The question is Smoke. But can Oliver outtrack him? The DRS will be enabled. Can Oliver win? Oh no, he just misses out as Smoke takes the victory by 300 of a second. Electro Dan has fallen into P7. Top G gets a podium, P3, but Oliver just missed out on a win. Oh my goodness me, such great driving indeed. You're going to give me a heart attack in Division 2 and Division 1 if you keep this up like you did last week.
What a final lap. Oliver, he could have saved a bit more ARS through that first sector, I feel. Gone into none, saved it all up. But you know what? Still an outstanding drive for him. And he, without a doubt, gets my driver of the day. Smoke, nice move through the final couple corners there. Wow.
You guys are going to give me a heart attack during these races. Honestly, if you keep my voice going like that, I'll lose it. I lost it last week. I'm going to definitely lose it this week. We've still got one more race to go, which is Division 1 at the Japanese Grand Prix. Thank you so much, Division 2, for putting on a great show. Ginger Tiger, Oliver, Ginger Tiger and Xenum, the ones that were leading the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, they both made mistakes, both had spins, and they cost themselves to Ferrari. Big points lost for Ferrari, but Smoke, fantastic victory, it must be said. Great recovery from Smoke after a dismal last few races. He got spun around at the Austrian Grand Prix, but he's finally back to win his 4th win of the season, matched with Mansell. Fantastic drive indeed. Can you invite these guys to the podium interviews if you don't mind, Charlie?
Yeah, we'll do. I won't be sticking around for the podium interviews. I've got to get to bed. I've got college in the morning.
Unlucky you.
Unlucky me. Right, where are you? Oliver, he's going to be... I can already feel the smile on Oliver's face. Smoke. And who was it? Smoke and...
I'll invite Badgie.
I've got them all here. Where are you, Smoke? There you go. Oh, right, I'll have to love yous and leave yous. Thank you for having me on again, Jamie.
You're welcome, mate. So see you later, Charlie. Thank you for commentating with me, being alongside me.
Just a quick one. Oliver's already here. Congratulations, mate. You absolutely deserve that.
Man, that was so close. How close did you want that to be? Wow, unbelievable. Wow.
Well done, Ollie. I'll see you in a bit. Enjoy it, lads.
So, I'll wait for to smoke. I'm gonna say my congratulations to the podium to the podium finishes in a little bit. But my word, that was so close.
We're just waiting for Top G, and we're waiting for Smoke to join the party that we can kickstart the interviews. And what a climatic race that was as well. It kept me on my toes for the whole thing. But now I'll try and message Smoke and Brad to get them in the podium interviews. Brad doesn't really do podium interviews. I haven't really spoken to him when he's been on the podium, so it could be a short podium interview, but I don't mind. Better for me, don't have to talk to people. But yeah, we'll just wait for those two to see if they do want to join. And Smoke does usually join as well, so we're going to wait for him. Instead of keeping you waiting, Oliver, let's just start with you. So, Oliver, fantastic drive, mate. The pressure you must have sustained was unbearable during the last few laps of the Grand Prix. How on earth did you manage to stay calm through that? Because my nerves would be going at that point, because I know you've had a very difficult season as well this season. It's not your first podium of the season either. Your first podium came at the USA Grand Prix. I forgot all about that. Sorry about that. But you've had a very difficult season. And talk us through how you managed to overcome your problems.
Wow, the start itself has sort of helped, to say the least. The start, let's just say the least, it worked in my favour, to say the least. So since I was starting the hards, I was starting second to last, to say the least. It didn't really help my cause, but it's... Oh, how can I say this? So when the start happened, the sort of folding came into my... The safety cars helped, to say the least. They really helped with the strategy. The next one came along and I pitted for the mediums. I knew that was the right time. Then everyone else started from hards, that was on the hard, switched back to the mediums, so that helped me out again. Then the top five were literally on the hards, and I was on the other one of the mediums at that point. And oh my god, honestly, the racing was unbelievable. Division 2 really outshone, especially the top part of the field. And from Brad to Smoke and myself, it was fair. It was super fair. And of course, it was just unbelievable. One of the best races of the season. I just can't believe it. I wouldn't think I would get to a podium today after starting so low down the field after a shocking qualifying, but I'm so happy to get the victory. I could have got victory today, but Smoke was unbelievable today. His ERS management is unbelievable. So fair play to Smoke, and I hope he really enjoys his victory. I'm happy with P2, and bring on the next race in Las Vegas. It's not one of my favorite circuits in the world, but it's something I'm going to look really forward to enjoy. I'm just going to drink this podium in.
P3 in USA, P2 here in Japan, P1 next time in the next few races. Do you think you could do it? Because you definitely got the pace, but you just, I don't know what it is. You just struggle in qualifying, don't you? But you've definitely got some race pace. We saw that in USA. We've seen glimpses of it so far.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. Qualifying is not really my strong suit, and to say that I'll be getting P2 is unbelievable. And not to mention the fact the racing today, the start, I will admit, was very rough, to say the least. The start, a lot of people were fighting harsh, were really going at it. There was a lot of contact here and there. I can't name a few, but they were literally one in front of me, and just if I was like, all right, thanks, you just contact along, I'll just stroll on by. And then next thing I knew, I'm here, to say the least. And Smoke, I know you're in here now. Massive GGs. That is the closest finish we ever had as a pairing. Unbelievable. Fair play to take coping the pressure, mate. Fair play. And I'm looking forward to hear what Smoke's got to say. But to help out Williams in the constructors a little bit really helps, and we'll just keep pushing forward, and hopefully the next race in Las Vegas is going to be a lot more better. And yeah, I can't hear what Smoke's got to say now.
Well, we're sticking with you still because we've got plenty of questions to ask you. But Oliver, during that third safety car, you went from hards to mediums. You stayed on the hard compound tyres during the first two, then you pitted, but unfortunately the safety car came out. What was your reaction when that third safety car came out after just pitting on the medium compound tyres?
I was happy, to say the least, because I knew the tyres were going to be fresh. I only just put them on after one lap, and then the safety car came. It was actually a blessing. Not to mention the fact that the drivers ahead of me were on the hard tyres, and they knew they were on the wrong tyre. They know they were on the right tyre, but it came with the wrong tyre when the safety car came out. So it was actually sort of a blessing for me to come out in where I was in P5 to be on the medium compound tyre, because I knew the next lot of drivers ahead of me would be on the medium compound tyre. So it's sort of a blessing. It's not really much of unluckiness, to say the least. I'm pretty happy that I've actually got the podium today and been on the right tyre at the right time. Yes, I stayed out for more than I needed to on the hard compound tyre, but it's sort of helped really with the safety cars in some ways, and it was mostly a safety car race. Anyone wouldn't even call that a race. The race itself happened in the final 10 laps. But yeah, it was very incident filled, but I sort of kept my nose out of it, and the car performed really, really well. And oh man, it's such an incredible feeling. It really is. And the fact that we had Division 3 yesterday and then we had this tonight really lived up to its expectations, and it's one of those that I will definitely cherish.
Definitely, because it's one of your best races I've ever seen you partake in as well in SFR. So fantastic drive, Oliver, today. You definitely deserved it. You kept your nerve under massive pressure because you had the guys behind chasing you as well on the hard compound tyres. You had the guy in front of Smoke to overtake at the right time in the right place as well. And yeah, you sustained the pressure really well in the final two corners, because it could have been so easily to make contact. Both of you to make contact, trying to push each other off or trying to force one another to go a bit wider than expected. But we'll see then how it all plays out for Las Vegas. And yeah, fantastic today, Oliver. Well done.
Oh, honestly, that the pressure. You talk about pressure. Oh my God, my heart was going for the last final laps. The pressure was immense for Brad and Electro Dan, and then trying to keep the pressure on Smoke. He drove absolutely beautifully today. His defending was on point. The final lunge he got through 130R around the outside was so brave but fair, and I went for one more at it at the final chicane, and the way we kept it so clean, because it's such an incident-filled chicane, especially in this game. But he drove absolutely beautifully today, and he deserves the victory, and I just can't wait to hear what he needs to say. Smoke, I know you can hear me, mate. GG on the wins, bro.
We're moving on to Smoke then. And Smoke, finally, welcome back to the top step of the podium. You had your 3 wins in a row in Monza, Imola, and also the Azerbaijan Grand Prix when you just got Mansell on the line. That was quite funny. But yeah, you've had a bit of luck in the last few races recently with the DNF and Monaco, but that's expected. It's a Monaco Grand Prix. But yeah, you've got luck in Brazil as well, and in Austria where you got spun around at turn number 1. And yeah, welcome back to the top step, mate. How does it feel? And after an immense battle with Oliver as well.
It's nice. I did promise myself that I was never going to do a podium interview ever again.
You don't want to talk to me? Wow, I see how it is.
After that race, I thought I'm going to have to, because that was insane, especially that last 3 corners. Like, everything in the entire race did not matter. Those 3 corners were the highlight of that race. Even if I came off second best, I still would have been happy with that. No, just knowing full well that I could go side by side with Oliver, and knowing that I could trust him that he's going to leave space. We did make a little bit of contact coming out of the chicane on the last corner to the line, but that's just the nature of the corner. And I was trying to sort of stay away from him, but not spin at the same time. So that was the only gripe I had with my own driving on that one. But no, overall, I'm very happy with the win, and I'm happy with the outcome points-wise, because constructors, we have just taken a bigger lead.
Yeah, you have indeed, and I think you pulled away from McLaren, because McLaren didn't have the best races today, did they? Keith and Adams retired in the Grand Prix. Keith fell down the order, so you pull away from McLaren and Red Bull at the same time. But yeah, ever since you joined in for Alpine, it's been looking very good so far for the Enzo team. But what was your reaction when that third safety car came out? Because I know before the third safety car, you were on the pressure hard. You were catching the top four at a rate of knots, despite the top four, Tiger, Calvin, and Xenon 5 away, and Keith 2 5 away. You were predicted to catch him at a rate of knots very quickly, be all at the back of him. So when that third safety car came out, what was your feelings? Were you a bit annoyed at the time?
There was a fair amount of expletives said. I could have dived in the pits at the very last second, because when it was called, I was at the safety car line, or just past the safety car line. So I could have thrown it in, but I thought if I did that, I'm probably going to jump scare one of the Hasses that was behind me and probably speed into the pit lane. So I thought I'll play it safe. I'll stay on the hards as much as I don't want to, and just hope for the best and hope that everybody stops around me apart from about 4 cars, which I think that's what played out. So yeah, the safety car didn't help. I don't. If it were, to be fair, if it weren't for that as well, I don't think the win was on. Potentially a podium, maybe, I don't know, but that safety car did kind of help.
It did indeed. I know you had lots of luck in the past few races, but finally you're back up here as well. I think you went for a very long stint in the Brazilian Grand Prix. You had to switch over to the mediums. Then you had that spin at turn 1 because you and Manso were hunted down the people on older tyres, trying to get Martin and the top G as well. But unfortunately, that contact with turn 1 took you out of contention. But it's your 4th win of the season, and you're matching Mansell in terms of wins as well. So I know you're too far away from the championship, but do you look at the championship standings and think that you could try and get the guys to the top 10? Because you're just at 11th place, but I dare say you move into the top 10 with your result today.
I have looked at the standings a few times. My target was to try and breach the top 10. After the last sort of few races, I didn't think it was going to happen. I'm still not overly confident with the remaining races, because one of which I can't stand. But yeah, if I can hit that target, then I'll take that as a little victory over the season.
Well, fantastic drive today, Smoke. Well controlled and under pressure. You had Yarham in the first stint chasing after you, but yeah, you've been under a lot of pressure today, being a hunter and being the hunted at the same time, with 2 different safety cars changing the whole scenario. We move on to Las Vegas, and how do you think it'll plan out there?
That's the race I can't stand.
Thought it was.
Feelings mutual.
I don't. I've had a lot of bad experiences on that track. I don't think it's a very good racetrack, to be honest. It works in sim racing just because of the unrealistic nature of the game. It does work in that sense. But the last time I raced it was in the previous game, and I did not enjoy it. And I'm probably going to be much the same this time around. So I'm not holding out too much hope for it.
Right, question for you, Jamie. How was your voice for the last lap?
I mean, I struggled commentating today because of a sore throat. I kept stuttering all over the place, but you guys got me back into my usual self, with you guys fighting so hard in the final lap, so thank you very much for that. My voice is actually quite fine, to be fair, although I might have to take a soother after this Grand Prix, after the podium interviews. But yeah, thank you so much, Smoke and Oliver, keeping it nice and clean. Massive respect to both of you, because it could have ended in contact, but you gave each other enough space and room to continue the fight all the way to the line. So yeah, my voice is fine, thank you, Oliver. I'm ordered to you two for that battle.
Yeah, Smoke. For me, mate, that's probably the closest finish I ever had in my what? I gotta say, how many years of my SFR career? Over 10 years, pretty much 12 years of my 12 seasons of SFR experience. That was the closest finish I ever had. GG's, Smoke.
Well done, mate.
I can't wait to race with you again.
Also, question to both of you: which one of you had DRS, or did you not get DRS? Any of you?
Didn't look.
What, the last lap?
Yeah, on towards the line.
It was going to be me, because Smoke was just ahead of me on the DRS activation point, but just the natural nature of where the DRS line is, it just was impossible. With Smoke being on the racing line, he had a bit more grip on the outside, so that's why he just got the pull on me. And and how he got in front of me to the line. So yeah, Smoke just got me in the end.
All right then, thank you so much, you two, for joining me in the podium interviews. And Smoke, I did notice your comment saying you're never going to do a podium interview again. Is that you don't want to talk to me anymore? Is that how it is?
No, I've just had rotten luck after the last one.
I'm sorry, Smoke. I'm sorry.
I'll blame the co-commentator, whoever it was that week.
Anyways, thank you so much, you two, for joining me in the podium interviews. And we move on to the Japanese Grand Prix for tomorrow at 7:30. Hurricane versus Laser Lord. Hurricane has snuck inside the double digits for the win. Fireblaze missed out after losing the win on the final lap of the final corner, where he had to avoid a spinning Haas. Hurricane just took him on by 0.05 of a second. Will it be a close finisher like it was last week and today? And we move on to the Las Vegas Grand Prix for Div 3 and Div 2 next week on Monday and Tuesday. But we're not done for Japan yet. Join us back at 7:30 for me and Owen Mansell for Division 1 at 7:30. See you guys later. Have a good night. Konnichiwa.